You know, I'm out here to tell like I've always said I wanted to share people's stories through film and stuff like that. I didn't know how my platform was gonna be, but it just became like this and I'm loving every moment of it. I can't even lie. I'm loving every moment, but like why not start with like people that I've come across? Like I don't like, I feel like um everything happens for a reason, relationships, like friendships, all that type of stuff. So it's like, I would be taking in vain what God granted me of meeting different people in my life. So I'm like, let me start with my girls. Like, let me catch up with people that I haven't talked to in a while. Like, see how they're doing, like, their story and stuff like that. Cause like, um, you know, I haven't seen you since college, like literally since 2017. But it's like, it was still, it's great to catch up with people that I haven't talked to in a while, just to see that they're doing well. Like obviously we stay in touch with Instagram and stuff like that, but it's different when you're having a full blown conversation with people. So
Yes,
yeah.
I definitely feel like your platform, let me just say this, it's definitely spirit led. I can tell it's going to change a lot of people's lives. It's already changing people's lives. So I commend you for doing this work. It needs to be done, and you're the perfect person to do it. So,
Oh, Samari, stop. We didn't even get started. We can't be doing that to me. Oh,
I,
I appreciate that. I appreciate
yeah.
that so much. I really do. More than you even know. So thank you. I am honestly like God gets all the glory. And that is I'm just sharing people's story brings joy to my heart. Because I know everyone has a story and some people don't know how to share their story. And we're like they only reach certain people. So it's like, why not create a platform to enlighten people on their journey and give other people motivation that it's not gonna be easy, but it's possible. Because like we said, life be life and it be
Uh,
definitely coming. But there's so many blessings in the journey of life. So
and
I
just pour into you just a little bit more. Life be life in, but you're one of those people that check on your people. You do a really good job of doing that, and that's really important. That taught me like, hey, we got to check in with our sisters, our brothers too, but our sisters and everyone in our family because it is really important. We don't have a lot of time to do it, but when you do it, it does mean a lot and it's special. So.
it goes such a long way too. It goes such a long way, and it's like especially when you haven't like when you don't see people every day and you get a text from someone that you haven't talked to in a while and they're like um you know how you doing, are you good, like just small stuff like that. It's like, oh, like you're thinking about me, like that goes far beyond like liking a picture on Instagram. Like it goes far beyond and liking a status, you know what I'm saying? Like you see what people are doing on a daily, but that's just a little bit of their life. It's not the whole story. There's still so much more to them. So I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Dang, I'm gonna have to keep this in now. We started the conversation, didn't even start it yet.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh man. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of the Sisters Podcast. I got my good sis Samari here. Samari, it's so good to see you.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey. So, we obviously already started the conversation, and I'm gonna include that in it as well. But I haven't seen Samari since like 2017, 2018. We went to Franklin Pierce together. I was a senior when she was a freshman, and we just spent a lot of time in the gym together, a lot of workouts. Like she was definitely always in the gym getting it done. But that's not just who she is. She has a lot more to her than that little part of her of being a basketball player. So, Samari, how you doing though? What's up? You good?
I'm doing great. I can't complain. I'm doing great,
That's
making a
good.
lot of moves,
Hmm.
growing, evolving, pouring into myself. So I can't,
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
doing.
Growing, evolving, pour into yourself. Can we get some stats to that? That is what I'm talking about. And I'm so before I get started, I have to say this because Samari texted me. We were supposed to start like half an hour ago, which was fine. I'm glad you texted me that. She texted me and she was like, Um, can we back it up a little bit? I need to meditate. I could have jumped through the floor. Like, yes, we sure can. Thank you. Like, and I haven't. I meditate when it gets to the point where I need to meditate, but I used to meditate often. But how often do you meditate? How is that for you?
I try to do it every single day. Like I try to do mornings and night. Um, Before I would do guided meditations on YouTube,
Mhm.
and now I'm trying to move away from that a little bit and try to do it in silence as much as possible. Really trying to listen to my inner self and figure out what I need in that moment. Um, it wasn't easy and it's not easy to meditate, so it because your mind shifts a lot. So what I do is I embrace that and I say, okay, that was interesting mind. Thank you for telling me that. And then I try to shift back to the present moment. Um, so I meditate often, but sometimes we forget too. So it's like we I try to keep it going, but it's something that you have to try to do as much as possible, but
Absolutely.
it could be forgotten. And for today, it was like if you feel nervous, it helps release those nerves. So if before an exam, I try to do it as well. So yeah.
Absolutely. It helps when you're overwhelmed too, just to take a deep breath and breathe. Um my former boss when I was in grad school, she helped me like get into meditating. And we would do it to white noise, which I like because it's just like it's kind of it's not silent, but it helps you to just shut down everything in your brain and just focus on, like you said, your inner thoughts and like what it kind of puts you in a realm of like relaxation.
Yeah.
So we would do it before games, and I found that pretty beneficial because like as someone who has a lot of responsibilities, like it gives you time to just let's
Woosah.
focus on what's in front of us, and then like we go for the next thing from that. So definitely have to get back into that. So thank you for that reminder. I appreciate that.
Yes, yes.
So why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how, like where you're at now. I already said your name's Samari, so they know your name, but tell them a little bit about yourself.
I was born in the small island called Bonaire. It's the ABC Islands. I was born in the B of the islands. So it's right next to Curacao and Aruba.
Mhm.
And I immigrated here when I was like to the United States when I was like 6 years old. Um, I came here with my family for more opportunity, education wise. Um, and while being here, I was studying for most of the time. Um, I played basketball at Franklin Pierce with you. So that's moving forward from high school. I also played basketball, was the captain of the basketball team at my high school at Belmont High. And as I said, went to Franklin Pierce University, played D2 basketball, and then transferred over to Suffolk University and played basketball with them for a little bit as well. And then focused on my studies for um, the remaining time I was at my senior year of college. Um, Once I graduated Suffolk University, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I graduated during the pandemic, so it was a very hectic time. So I took some time off and I really just spent it with my family, trying to figure out what I really truly wanted to do. I then decided I wanted to do law school. And that was something that was always on my mind. And people, people always say, oh, because you argue, they'd be like, you'd be a great lawyer. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, yeah, whatever. But finally, I decided I wanted to take the LSATs, and I I did well on them. Not amazingly, but I was like, okay, I'm still gonna try it. That's like that mentality in me. I'm gonna do anything that I can to fulfill my dreams, my purpose. So I went for it. I got into New England Law Boston. So I'm currently at New England Law Boston. Studying law. I'm a 3L evening student, so I work during the day and go to school at night. And recently, I became the LALSA, the Latin American Law Student Association president of the
Yup, yup.
at school. So more responsibilities, but a great journey. And I never thought I was going to be doing that in that place, from playing basketball, from going from the courts to going to the courtroom,
Right, right, right.
like, or being at court. So it's very interesting, and it's a journey, and I never thought I would be here, but it's beautiful, and it shows that it's not going to be exactly how you maybe instilled in your mind that it's going to be, but that the journey is beautiful regardless, and it's your journey. So that is where I am now. Yeah.
There's so much to dissect from there. It you have definitely been someone who puts your mind to it and gets it done. You were definitely been someone who, like, no matter what people told you, you were gonna fulfill your dream. Hence, like, you came to Franklin Pierce as a walk-on, right? And you worked your way up to, play, like, practicing so hard, doing everything that you got to do to get out on that court. And I feel like that's why we just connected so well your freshman year, because I just saw the passion and the fire behind you. And, like, I just was glad that I had that 1 year with you to kind of help you to guide, like, block out all the noise and all the haters and everybody else that was around, and, follow your dreams. And you ended up going to Suffolk, graduated from Suffolk. What did you get your degree in?
In government. So I
Okay.
went from political science to government. That was the credit exchange from FPU to Suffolk. It became a government major, which is super interesting because I was always into helping the community. And I do see myself supporting or being in the government field at some point in time. Um, whether it's with the city councilors or at City Hall here in Boston. So yeah, so that's kind of what I graduated in. But it's interesting because most people go into law and don't necessarily get a law degree in undergrad, or don't necessarily get yeah don't they don't necessarily get a law degree in undergrad. They kind of just sometimes they get something like an English major or any sort of major, and then they go into law
Yeah,
spontaneously.
right.
So you can come from all types of fields and end up in law. So
That's good to know too, because there's someone who needed to know that. Like, there's a lot of people who, you were young when you go to college,
yeah.
and, like, you have a mentality, or, like, you think you know what you want to do or be, and you go down that major, and, you get your bachelor's in that field, and then it comes time to get a job, you're like, I actually don't want to do this. Like, I actually don't want to be here. So it's like, to know that you can still go ahead and pursue a dream of yours, even if you didn't go down that path in college, is great to know. And then when are you done with law school?
So I have one more year left. So in 2025, I'll be graduating from New England Law Boston.
That is awesome, Samari. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited.
I'm
Even
ex-
saying it is exciting.
right. I'm excited for you, and I'm like, it's just good that we get to catch up and hear, like, doing great things. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, uh, even you taking time off, even you realizing that, like, that's not maybe what you want to do right now, but, like, you have a dream in the back of your head and you want to pursue that dream, and you're not gonna let nobody stop you from getting there. Shout outs to you, for real. That's awesome.
I realized that I wanted to be an attorney when you know how you said I was a fighter, always on the court. I was always fighting, and I always wanted to play basketball. I still love the game of basketball. But I realized I wanted to pursue a career in law when I started speaking to certain athletic directors or certain people with authority. And I started to tell them how they were incorrectly not supporting the student body, or how they were doing things that were incorrectly. So I was already advocating for our student body. I don't know if you even realized that, but I was doing that, like, even at FPU on the side for myself and for our team. I was like speaking to this athletic director, speaking to certain people, and advocating for our betterment. And when I realized I was doing that naturally, I was like, Oh,
Right.
advocating for people. I like fighting for what's right. And so, um, yeah, that's kind of how I realized that was something that I wanted to do. And I would say that law school saved me from a lot of things. Um, and so did basketball. So
Mhm.
it's really interesting. It's all a piece in the puzzle.
Right.
So, yeah.
You
So,
can't script it, but you can't like we have plans for our future.
yeah.
Um, but like you said, sometimes it doesn't go that way. And but the passion inside of us will always be with us to venture out to different places that we go to. So obviously, you're right where you needed to be, and your journey led you there. And it's just so amazing to see that next year you'll be graduating with that. That is awesome.
Thank
So
you.
awesome. So yeah, you touched a little bit about your experience or your journey at Franklin Pierce. How did that help you to transfer to Suffolk?
So my journey at FPU, so the reason why I went to Franklin Pierce to begin was to play basketball, which is interesting because like you said, I came on as a walk-on. So I already was like determined that that was what I was going to do, and then I did it. So um that was my main goal. What I felt like at my hitting my sophomore year, I felt like it wasn't the place that I was meant to be in anymore. Like something was pushing me out of FPU. Already it's a tough environment to be in because we're in the middle of nowhere. But I just felt like the sisterhood and the people that I met there was so special. So I knew I was meant to be there at that time, meet you, meet certain people on our team as well. So those things were very important to me.
Right.
Um, so once I transferred, I realized that my sophomore year, I realized that I needed to transfer. I
Mhm.
realized I needed to find a different place, somewhere where I felt comfortable, somewhere where I was supposed to be fulfilling my not that I didn't feel comfortable at FPU, but where I was supposed to be fulfilling my purpose in a
Right.
different way.
Right.
And it was like a push, something calling me, and it wouldn't leave, like I couldn't just stay there. I
Mhm.
couldn't just like let it go and be like, you know what, I'm gonna stay here and keep playing. Who knows? I can continue playing, and by my senior year, I would have been playing on the court, or like those were the ideas that I had. Um, and especially with the change in coaching staff and things like that. So I could have kept pushing, but something was pushing me out to a different direction. And so I came back to Boston and I went to Suffolk University. And at Suffolk, what opened up my eyes, and interestingly enough, when I was, so backing up again, when
Mhm.
I was applying to schools, to college, I got into Suffolk and I got into like my senior year of high school.
Yep.
I had gotten into Suffolk and I gotten into FPU, and I was deciding between those two. I had other schools too, but those were the two schools that I was deciding by, because I was like, oh, I can go to Suffolk, but I really like basketball at FPU. So it was like this, that decision making time. And I chose FPU because of basketball. And then interestingly enough, I was shifted back to Suffolk afterwards.
Right.
That's my sophomore year. So it was like I had those two decisions, but I had to go one way to then make it to the other
Mhm.
way. So once I went back to Suffolk, what opened up my eyes were like the law school, because Suffolk has a law school. So we went into the law school to tour, and I was like, and they have the courtroom, and I was like, oh, this is where I want to be. And that was what like triggered it. And I was like, wow. And I was like, okay, let me do it. And it wasn't like, of course, they were giving me some scholarships and some things, but the money didn't stop me. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I went for it. Um, and yeah, that's kind of how I transitioned over. Once I got to Suffolk, I was learning a lot. I was learning a lot about my field, about the government field, and what I wanted to learn. I was more focused. I kind of got in my like focus mode with studies. I was working for the city of Boston, and I was still playing basketball for the school. And then on top of that, I was like really focused on my studies. So it was a lot at once, and I was managing it all, which was very interesting. And I just made it work. And yeah, it was a shift in my life, but it was a very exciting time. So yeah.
You can't ignore that push. There's something in you that's triggering you to like step
Mhm.
into another chapter, step into another purpose. That's something you really can't ignore. And like you said, that like it was it's a tough situation because you meet people in the your first season, your first chapter where like your sisterhood or like your day ones that are around you that you don't really want to leave, but also in order for you to step into your purpose in the next chapter, you kind of have to leave, but that doesn't mean that you separate yourself from these people. And like exactly. So years has passed and we're still having a conversation as if we're back on Franklin Pierce campus and no time has passed by. Because that's just the dynamic relationships that you build when you have people for that certain amount of time. I think a lot of people forget that you know, time is out of our control. Like we don't hold time in our hands. So you have to take advantage of the relationships that God gives you with that time with those people. And we kind of touched on that a little bit before we even start rolling, but because that goes a long way. It's not saying that you're never going to see them again, you're never going to talk to them again, and like, you know what I'm saying? But how you treat people and the relationships that you build in that time that you have them, they go far they go far beyond just that time that you have them with them. So I'm so glad that you followed your gut and you followed your purpose and it led you to where you need to be. And obviously it probably was tough for you to not play your senior year, but it helped you to like focus in and lock in on which you kind of want to lead yourself into for the next chapter.
Yeah, and that was another aspect of my life where I was pushed to go a different direction too. And that was tough because I was leaving my first love, which was basketball, and I didn't know my life without it. So I didn't understand like why I was being pushed away from it.
Mhm.
And there was a lot of circumstances. That was another moment where I was also advocating for myself and advocating for what's right. And they even wrote an article about it at Suffolk. And so me really just pushing for certain things that needed to happen within the organization and the athletic organization at Suffolk. But I really felt like that was another moment where I was being shifted away from the game and I didn't understand why. And I didn't understand why coaches didn't see my potential, why coaches weren't giving me the opportunity. So it was very tough for me to do that. And it's something that I'm still healing within like my love for basketball. But I feel like it was necessary to put me in the place that I am today for sure. Um,
Absolutely.
when it comes to relationships from FPU and that sisterhood and that bond that you build, there are people that I met there at Franklin Pierce that today or later on in my life came back into my life and supported me in certain situations that I thought I wasn't going to get out of. So that connection is so important. So that's why I agree with you completely. Um, it's life changing to have those relationships for sure.
For sure. And I I feel like sometimes we have to be pushed away from our first love to see that there's more to life outside of the first love.
Yes.
And there's a truck backing out, so I don't know if you hear that outside,
Yeah,
but
a little bit.
it's like
Perfect timing.
right. But it just like I there was a point my injuries helped me to see that. So me always being injured, me tearing my ACL, me having a microfracture, having a microfracture surgery, tearing my ACL, spraining my MCL, ACL meniscus, like that time of my life was like, you always when you're always injured or you always like you find your way out the game. That year, my senior year, I learned a lot sitting on the sidelines, watching you guys play. even the next year, like when I took it, when I went to transfer to the school, and then I had knee problems again. It's like, you know, um, I'm in a phase in my life where like there was at one point in time basketball was everything. And
Mm.
then you realize that it's not everything. It helps you get through life, and you can still impact the game in some type of way. Maybe not how you wanted to or how you thought you would, but um, you can always go back to the game somehow, some way. You can always get in. Like, so when I ended up having those back-to-back surgeries, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm not playing no more. I was able to help my athletes or my players like see that take advantage of this time that you have, work hard, like do this, do that. Like, so I'm still giving back to the game and still being attached to it somehow, some way. And then not just my players, but my little sisters. Like, I'm helping them with my experience, showing them that, this is a part of your life for some point of time. Use it to your advantage and go all out to that point in time that you have. And, I think despite the healing that you're going through right now, because I'm not going to discard that. Like we all have some part of our inner child that we have to heal. But you didn't let their nose stop you from even trying. You know what I'm saying? Like you kept going at some point of time when it's like you could have been quit. You could have been stopped. You could have been stopped practicing. You ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? But you were determined to follow your dreams, like you said. So it's like it may not have ended the way you wanted it to, but at the same time, you got to give yourself credit for not giving up and not quitting, because it definitely pushed that fight in you, and then it showed you that like you said, it took you from fighting on the court to fighting in the courtroom, and
Yeah,
like that's where the check is coming at, girl. You better get that check. You better get that check.
that is
So,
that is
I hear what you're saying for sure, but like pat yourself on the back, because you definitely your facts. You held your own and like got you to where you are right now. So the journey is not easy. It's not all scripted like we want it to go, but it definitely comes around full circle when you take a step back to look at it in a different way.
and that's a good point that you made. You were a sacrifice. You had to sacrifice your body for other people to see what you can, like, hey, don't take this for granted. It's like when we wake up every morning and we're like, oh, it's just another day. Like, no, you have an opportunity today to make it a great day. And it's
Mhm.
like we should feel privileged to have another day to live. Like, I think sometimes we forget how important that is to feel like, okay, I woke up today, I'm well, I got my limbs, I can walk,
Mhm.
and I can speak, I can listen. So certain things like that, thanking God for those things and realizing like that, hey, I have an opportunity to make things great. And you showed us all what that looked like by sacrificing your body. And I don't know if you look at it that way, but it's sometimes we are sacrificing ourselves through certain situations to learn through them. And then other people also learn through us, like
Right.
watching us go through those situations. So it's beautiful and it's tough during those moments, but it's so worth it because what we learn through the process and how we come out on the other side is like, wow, I did not know that my story was scripted this way. I didn't know that this is where I was meant to go. And yeah, I am doing a lot of healing with that, and I with basketball and with the feeling of like wanting it to end a certain way, um and fighting through. And I realized that at that time I didn't know how gifted I was and how great I was at basketball until other people, even here in Boston, because basketball world is so small, to other people that played basketball and were playing AAU at a higher level, and I was playing against them, told me like, oh, I would go home at night and be like, I did an amazing job going against Samari, and they would feel like they would be challenged playing against me. And I
Right.
realized back then I didn't realize how good I was and how I was challenging those players. And other people basically see it in you before you see it in yourself. So yeah.
Girl, oh my gosh. I am so glad we having this conversation. Like it's so crazy because like I went out for lunch with one of my coworkers, and I was like, I have to get home because I have to record this podcast. And I was like, I really don't want to because I'm so like I'm just it's been a long past couple weeks. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's been a really long past couple weeks. And but literally said to her, um, I get joy with talking to people and them sharing their story and them like pouring into me and I'm pouring into them and we have an opportunity to exchange words that we haven't in so long. And it's not because like we don't, it's just like life goes and like you have your own life, I got my own life. We don't talk on a daily, but like you post something on Instagram, I'm sliding up on, it's just different stuff like that. So it's like I was like I literally said to her, I said at the table, I said, somebody needs to hear her story. Somebody needs to hear what she's saying. So it like I would never cancel on getting this podcast out because that's what the devil wants me to do. He wants me to be like, yeah, no, you got too much going on. They're busy, you're busy, like, just dead it. But like no, like
Yeah.
because at this point, what I would be doing? Just laying down, watching a movie, flipping. I'm not doing nothing. I'm relaxing, but this is much better than that. So
Right.
I appreciate you so much. So, so, so much.
I appreciate you too. We can't let those negative forces and energies
Absolutely not.
greatness. So
Absolutely not. And I never will. He will never win. So we're
true.
gonna keep pushing no matter what. And like you said, waking up every day is like it's I first thing I do when I wake up is I thank God for waking me up this morning. Like just literally like no matter what type of day is ahead of me, I'm praying, that it's not gonna be like that. Or like whatever thoughts is in my head, like, no, you're not gonna win today. It's like the small reinforcement that every day you have to get up and tell yourself. Like you have like especially like going out in the world and you dealing with people and like everybody doesn't think and pray and act like you do, so it's like you have to set your day up for success with you starting with appreciation, gratitude, gratefulness, like just small things like that just to get you going. And then no matter what goes through the day, you still blocking that out, like trying to keep it going.
Yep.
So
True.
right,
All
put
the
on the
negative
shield,
out the way.
pushing that to the side for sure. But oh my gosh, you have answered a lot of questions that I already had down, which I really appreciate that. Um, so you said the 303 certified student attorney, that's the program that you're in right now.
So I this last semester I did a 303 certified student attorney um program. So basically it's through the school
Mhm.
and you get to basically you have your own supervisor and you get to work as a student attorney and you get your own clients. So it's a hands-on experience for attorneys once they graduate. Now they have that kind of experience to work with clients. So I got my own client. It was a family law case, and I had to represent them in court as a student. But the supervisor, which is also an attorney, is also present. So if I need any support, she's also there to
Wow.
correct me on the law or
Mhm.
to be of support in any way. So she was amazing. So I got lucky with a great supervisor who was really supportive. I had a great case. We did really good for our court hearing. And the sad part is that the cases move on once you are done as a student attorney working on them. And you sometimes you don't get to see what happens with the cases, but at least you put in all your effort into that case and you know that hopefully everything will turn out amazing. So yeah, so that's basically what a student attorney is it's a practicing student attorney in the law. So
It gets you that student work that you need before you go into the real force. And then you impress people who are in the room who are in the real force and they can, reach out to you like once you're done if they really like you, right? Like like the connections and stuff will stay with you.
yep, yep, yeah. And it is something that you can also build your connections and network in that way because now the judge is seeing you're representing your client. So now you're getting more and more exposure to the legal field in a more hands-on approach versus like just sitting in class and listening to a case or listening to a law. It's not the same as being in person and actually representing a client. So a lot of times it's really funny. Since we're right here in Boston, people always talk about Harvard Law School, and how great they are. But people don't realize that sometimes if the Harvard law student is not getting as much exposure to the law, is not doing a clinic in which they're doing a more hands-on approach, when it comes to litigation or when it comes to the time where they're going to be in court representing their client, they may not be as great as a New England Law Boston student or as a Suffolk student, because they're not getting those hands-on approaches or those hands-on work where they're one-on-one with their client.
Right,
They're getting to know their client's situation. They're learning about ethical issues. They are, really, really understanding what it's like to be an attorney,
right, right.
right in front of them. So, yeah.
Okay, so you're getting all the experience right now. So you're gonna be all set and ready come next year. When you graduate in July, June or July? May,
Um, May, right? Next year, May.
even better.
So it'd be I have the fall and then the spring semester. Yeah. And
Okay.
I'm taking a summer course this summer so that I can finish on time. So that'll be nice. So fun fact, I will be in Ireland, in Galway this summer. So look out for those pictures.
Okay. What you going? What are you going there for? Just
So
a,
I will be studying international law there. So yeah, so I will be gaining more exposure to the law world, learning more about international law, seeing if that's something that I want to do. And so it should be really exciting and very interesting. And there will be a justice also that will be there on the campus that during that time that we're there. So it's going to be a really good opportunity to learn and gain some more exposure, gain some knowledge from people who have been doing this for a very long time. So
right, and that's all a part of the program.
yeah, it's all a part of, so New England Law Boston has this. So for any of you guys that want to go to New England Law Boston, so
Mhm.
they have a study abroad program, and I've never done study abroad. I never had an opportunity to do that. And gratefully now, this summer, I got into the study abroad program, and I will be studying in Galway for this.
That's awesome. When you leave,
I leave in June. So
okay, and then you'll be there till August.
I will be there till July.
Okay.
And so I'll get back mid, yeah, like I won't be there the whole entire summer. I guess I'll get a little bit left of the summer. And yeah, so I'll be back in July, and then I'll start back up the semester in August, like end of August, probably September-ish. So
That is
yeah.
amazing. I have two players.
Congratulations on the
Yeah,
way.
no, seriously. I have two players who live in Ireland, but I have been wanting to get over there ever since they talk so highly about it. So you have to definitely let me know how it is.
I will. I got you. I'll tell you all about it.
Oh, international law. She coming for everything. You heard? Coming for everything. Stop playing with her.
Yeah.
And your property manager, I don't even want to mess this up. For your family business. Talk a little bit about that because that just goes right into international. Let's just hear a little bit about it.
Yeah, so yeah, perfect segue. So my family actually owns a couple small businesses here in Boston. My dad owns a barbershop and my mom owns a beauty supply, and it's called Los Magicos Barbershop and Beauty Supply. And so and they've also had other barbershops around Boston and have tried to um, you know, grow their business. And so then we had the idea of bringing, so basically, my mom kind of thought about this, and then we all had like, we came together as a family and we decided that we wanted to build a home. And we already had a home in Bonaire where I was born, but we wanted to make it larger, create something different. And then it turned into an Airbnb kind of home, so short-term rentals and sometimes long-term rentals, depending on our stay time or what we can do, what we're equipped to do. And so right now, I am the property manager of Los Magicos Barbershop in or not barbershop, Los Magicos Apartments. So we're trying to create its own identity too, because we've had the beauty supply and the barbershop. Now we're trying to create its own identity in Bonaire as an apartment. So it's a beautiful area, right in the area of right in like the downtown area of Bonaire. So Bonaire is very, very small. So it's really easy to get to different areas from where the apartments are. So yeah, that's kind of what we're growing the business. We're um, implementing new details to it as we speak now, like as we're going. So it's brand new and we're trying to continue to grow it. So yeah.
And this is in Aruba.
This is next to Aruba. So,
Okay.
but they're all very connected. So Bonaire, Aruba, and Curacao are all like next to each other. So you could take boats probably to each one of them because it's so close. Um, but so it's in Bonaire. It's located in Bonaire, the B of the ABC Islands, and I was born there. Yeah.
Nice. And
So,
how many apartments do you guys have there?
so right now we have two apartments that we're renting out. But we are developing new apartments. So we're in the middle of construction and creating more apartments. But right now it's two of them, like one like a lower level one and one at the top. So
Wow. And how long is that flight there?
um that's a good question. Like 5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
I think you can't go directly to Bonaire.
Okay.
I think you have to stop. Like there's always going to be one stop, I think, and then you can go to Bonaire. So I think that's the
The layover.
yeah, the layover. So, but I got to figure out exactly how long you have to get there. I've been there a couple times. I went there after like 15 years of being in the US, and then I went there like a couple summers ago. So,
Wow. And then like you guys have family over there who kind of like help you with the process. That's so dope. That
exactly.
is so dope. And I'm asking how long is the flight because I would be interested to
Like,
go. I can't if it's anything over 6, 7. I'm trying to work my way to trying to fly a little longer, but
right.
I definitely I'm ready to I love to travel. I love to explore, see what else is out there, see other cultures, see like how other people are living because you're in Boston, I'm in Connecticut. It's just a small, like, people in other places. I be thinking about this all the time because it's like right now, I'm right here in my room recording a podcast, but there's someone in Antarctica right now that's doing something that I've never heard of or never saw before. But it's like, that's just the beauty of traveling, and even in the States, like, there's someone right now in Wisconsin that's doing something that I've never like even saw and met, like looking at different things and seeing like
Yeah.
it's just so much out there in the world that we can't stay like enclosed to like what's in front of us. So I love the fact that you guys are taking your business international and bringing it back home. So like people from Boston can go out there, and people from there can come back here. It's like it's amazing to see. So and your your mom and dad's salon, is it together or it's separate just with the same name?
So it's right in Hyde Park, 1469 River Street. It is a combined, um, but it's also separated. Like, so they have their own little spaces,
Right.
but they're basically in the same building, if that makes sense. The barbershop is on one side and then the beauty supply is on the other side, which works because people usually want to get their beauty supplies when they're at the shop. They're like, oh, let me grab something really quickly. So it works perfectly.
That's
And
how
just
yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That's how I envisioned it. So I just wanted to make sure that's how it was.
Yeah, and just so I just looked it up. A flight from Boston to Bonaire is about 8 hours. So
Okay.
a little bit of a longer flight than going to DR, but it's worth it. It's
Mhm.
worth it. You get to see that nice blue beach
Right.
color, the sky, like it's just beautiful. It's
I
beautiful.
believe it. I believe it. I will promise you I'll make my way there one day. Take
Okay.
some time, but I will make my way there because I am ready to explore. I can't let the fear of being in, it's just after a while, I'm like, all right, when are we gonna land this plane? Like we've been in the air for too long. But I also do want to get to like other places. Is like I want to go to Hawaii, I want to go to Africa. Like so I have to get over the fear. Like you just do it, honestly. So
Yes, I want to travel too. I would love to travel to all areas of the world. I think it's just beautiful. You get to see a whole new dynamic of things, the way their culture, the way they do things. Like it's very healing too to see it because you come back with a new, fresh mindset and you're like, I'm ready to work, I'm ready to do things. And yeah, and I think that's what really inspired our family to do that was to give back to the Bonaire community because my mom was raised there and then I was also born there to give back to that community and then at the same time to build kind of like that bridge like you said from Boston to Bonaire from Bonaire to Boston and build our community in that way because that's literally where we traveled from. We went from Bonaire to Boston and so it is a full circle moment and just giving back to both communities. So yeah.
that is so awesome. Nah, this conversation just put a whole big smile on my face. I'm so proud of you, for real. So proud of you, and I love to hear you doing such amazing things. You and your family, keeping it in the family business, also amazing. Just
That's
you
not
guys.
easy.
I know.
Not easy to have a family business.
Right.
I think it's amazing. I think my dad's really good about that. About he wants to think make oh, at least that's what I've seen is allow our family to be financially free in one way or another. And I think our families realize from both sides of my family, from my mom and my dad, realize how more financially free you become when you create something of your own like this podcast, when you create your own brand, when you create and then now you're freeing not just yourself but you're freeing your friends, your family and the people around you because you're doing things in a free spirit of your own. So I realize how important that is to be an entrepreneur, to start something of your own, to have your own business in one way or another. And this is just the start of something even greater. So I can see the business growing, Los Magicos Apartments. I can see that growing and I can see how our family can come together and even make it even better with time. So yeah, I'm excited for the growth that is to come for it. So
Better talk about it. Better manifest that thing, girl. This is let's go for real. And that's how it starts. You see
yeah.
the vision, you implement the vision, and you run with it. And you like literally, you're whatever it is that's your baby. You want your baby to grow. You want your baby to be fed. You want your baby to be loved, nurtured, everything. So it's like, I'm like, trust me, I understand when you say it's not easy because like you're working with family and like you see each other all the time, like and then it's like when there's a lot of negatives and positives to like situations. So it's like, you have to, but that's working through life and that's working through people and like why not work through it with your loved ones and the ones who seen you struggle and seeing you, like your success, everything. So it's like, there's two sides to it, but it does play a part that you're doing it with your loved ones for sure. So
Yeah. And it's also tough being a property manager from the far because I'm not in Bonaire as much. But it's nice that I know that there's people that will take on the responsibility and support me from here. And that's what matters. So with time, you can grow that, make that better. So it is something that we're still developing and organizing and making even greater. So it's nice to do it in a way where you know that in the end everyone will come together and support you in one way or another. And with your what better way to do that than with your family? So
exactly. Ah, I love it. I love to hear it. Before we wrap this up, do you have any advice for some student athletes who are listening to this right now who may be going through the same journey as you?
my advice would be to ask questions and to seek for support from people around you, to not be afraid to speak up when you need help. The reason why I say that is because growing up, I feel like kind of stuck to myself a lot, and I there's value in that. There's value in being quiet, and there's value in listening and being to yourself. But there's also value in asking others for support and looking for ways where you can collaborate with the people around you. Um, and I think a lot of people have a lot of great knowledge. So if you ask a question, you never know, you might get an answer and get the support that you actually needed. So that would be my advice.
That's good.
Don't be afraid to open up and be vulnerable and ask questions.
That's good. Yes, that's a good one. Oh, Samari, I love you, girl.
Love you too.
So happy that you came up here and tell blah, blah, blah. I'm so happy that you came up here and decided to share your story. Because like I said, someone needed to hear this and I needed to hear it. And I thank you for pouring into me. So I appreciate you so much. And I cannot wait to see you walk across that stage next year. And please let me know when it is. And if I can make it, I definitely want to be there to support you.
For sure, for sure. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this amazing Sisters podcast. I can see the greatness and anointing that is on this podcast. So I'm excited for what it's going to bring and heal all of our sisters. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm grateful.
Oh my gosh, stop. I can't. You about to make me cry at the start, you gonna make me cry at the end. Like, girl. Oh, I appreciate you so much. My sisters, my brothers, everyone who is tuning in, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And until next episode, I'm out.